Warrior, saint, and to some French soldiers of her time, a literal gift from God. Joan of Arc was many things to many people, but what do we know about her tragic final moments? In the early 15th century, the woman who called herself Joan the Maid rose from the peasantry to become the commander of an entire French army. History remembers her as Joan of Arc, a virginal teenage warrior in white armor, a Catholic saint and martyr, and the woman who fought the odds only to be betrayed by the man she helped make king. When Joan was 13, she began hearing voices, which she believed came from God. She believed she had been anointed with a sacred mission to expel the English from her homeland. In the 1420s, the English and the Duchy of Burgundy controlled much of northern France, having agreed to aid each other in their wars against Charles of Valois, the heir to the French throne. Joan's vision included restoring Charles to his rightful place as the King of France. In February 1429, Joan went to Charles and convinced him to give her an army to stop the English and their allies, who had laid siege to the city of Orleans. In defiance of his counselors, Charles agreed, and that March, Joan led her soldiers to a stunning victory against the English. Soon after, Charles regained his crown. Before long, Joan's prowess on the battlefield and mystical visions had gained her supporters and enemies in equal measure, and then it all came crashing down. During the siege of Compiègne in 1430, Joan of Arc fell from her horse. She was captured by the Burgundians and turned over to the English. Joan was subsequently charged with witchcraft and heresy, among other crimes. After a short trial, she was sentenced to death. When an advisor warned him that Joan was becoming too powerful, Charles of Valois, now Charles VII, refused to intercede on her behalf, and her fate was sealed.
You, who claim to be my judges, you be careful! For you too one day will be judged.
In May 1431, the 19-year-old Joan of Arc was taken to a place of execution in the old marketplace of the city of Rouen. As Joan walked to her death, she asked for a cross to hold. An Englishman in the crowd hastily crafted one from a stick and handed it to her. She kissed it, said a prayer, and slipped it into her clothing. Once she reached the top of the scaffold, she stood staring at a large crucifix held aloft by a priest. Joan continued to pray, keeping her eyes on the cross as the wood beneath ignited and flames leapt up around her. Those watching could clearly hear her voice above the intense roar of the fire. Jean Massieu, the priest who comforted Joan at her execution, later recalled, "And so she was taken and bound, still continuing praises and lamentations to God and the saints, and whose last word in departing this life cried in a loud voice, 'Jesus.'" After lighting the fire, the English executioner became overwhelmed with emotion and had to be led away. They took him to a nearby tavern where it took several strong drinks to calm his nerves. He later said that he had sinned gravely and repented from executing a saintly woman. The English executioner wasn't the only person to feel remorse for their actions against Joan of Arc. In 1450, nearly 20 years after her execution, King Charles VII ordered an investigation into Joan's trial that eventually helped clear her name. Other investigations followed, including one ordered by Pope Calixtus III in 1455. This retrial completely exonerated Joan of the earlier charges of heresy and witchcraft. Joan's fame continued to grow, her mythical status set in, and in 1920, Pope Benedict XV canonized her as a Catholic saint. While historians debate the importance Joan played in the 100 Years' War between England and France, an argument can be made that the part she played in lifting the siege of Orleans helped prevent England's further invasion of France and solidified Charles's power. While the war didn't end for another 22 years after Joan's execution, the French people came to venerate her over the generations. And today she is remembered as the patron saint of France, soldiers, and prisoners.